Why do we fight? Because we like it.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Today I want to present to you a tier list that I found on the internet via Reddit. I'm not really sure who's the article for or whoever made it, but I'm just going to give my opinions on it. It's your boy Caliber, aka Wingman. So let's get into it. And I'm going to let you guys know whether or not I agree with this. You know what I'm saying? So here, okay, we got Lancer. I agree. Lancer is definitely an S-class player. In the right hand, she's very dangerous in mines, especially. In Razors as well, and a couple of other folks. She's very, very strong. Dima, I don't agree. I don't think Dima is an S-class player, but he can be very dangerous with the right people. That's with any character. But like as far as his overall stats and stuff like that, no. Let me put my scientist glasses on. You know what I mean? My Nike Flex ons. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so yeah, Dima, most I'd probably put him as a B class. You know what I mean? Because to me, he's not that strong. Like I don't really have that much trouble with Dimas when I run into them. Maybe at mid range, yes, but I play Lancer and I play Dahlia, and I usually play Anvil. Anvil's been my main for the longest. But usually when I play with my main characters, I have no trouble like handling a Dema, even if that Dema is really good. Talon, Talon's not necessarily an S class player. I wouldn't put him as S. I'd probably put him in A. He's definitely an A class. He's really good. What is it, the LMX? I'm not sure what it's called, I forget, because I don't play with him. But the LMX and his dart that he has and the ability to grab items from across the map is really useful if you know how to use them. But as far as him being an S class, no. Some people say he is one of the strongest characters in the game. I disagree, and it's probably because of my experience with him. I'm usually going up against Talons, and most of the time, a Lancer, using a Lancer or using a Dahlia, I usually win like 4 out of 5. You know what I'm saying? Or 75% of the time, or 80% of the time, I win against Talon. On to Dallas. Dallas is definitely not an S class player. A lot of people will say that. He's definitely not. He's not bad. He's really good. His ability is really good on a team that cooperates. Dallas by himself, a standalone, is not that good. He couldn't run the board if he wanted to. His weapons, they shoot pretty slow. His rifle is pretty good. It's 2 shots to the head and you're done. His ability is probably one of the better abilities, one of the most useful ones in the entire game. And it depends on what mode you're playing too. So if you're playing competition or you're playing ranked, then he would make a good choice, for the team. But by himself, he's not really a force. At least not to me, not against Lancer or not against Dahlia. And Dahlia's not on this list, but she's definitely S class, and not because I play with her, just because of what she has to offer. Okay, Dahlia has more versatility. She has a long range weapon that's really strong. She has a close range weapon that's really strong. Her ability to revive teammates and then absorb their passive is just overkill. I think she's one of the best characters in the game, if not the best. As far as Lancer belongs up here. Of course, she is the stalker. She's a duelist. She moves around the map, and you can't hear her. If you can't hit what you can't see. You can't hit what you can't hear. And this game has a lot to do with using your headphones and hearing, exactly where the enemy's coming from. So if you can't hear her, you're definitely not going to shoot her. Sometimes I lose depending, on the team, because most people that play this, like as far as a group, and if they're communicating, they'll usually create a tactic where they can stop a Lancer in her tracks, because they'll anticipate her going for the flank. But so for myself, I try to mix it up, like everybody would try to mix it up. So Lancer is definitely an S class. Her ability cloaks you from everything. You can't be heard. You can't be seen by Dallas or Talon's dart or anything when it's activated. And then also the ability to move in silence. I think it's called padded step or something like that. I forget. Yeah, it's a really good ability. And her shotgun. Let's not even get there. That shotgun is ridiculous. And her passive, having the ability to roll and reload, is just crazy. I think it's just crazy, and it works. Like, it works. It's not some of the time, all of the time, and she can do it with any weapon. You know, she gets the arbitrator. It takes one shot close range with the arbitrator to kill somebody. So you hit him with the arbitrator, you roll, do it again, roll. You could take out a whole team. I've done it. I got videos of it, of me doing it. You could take a whole team out like 2 rounds if you're in their spawn. All right. So now, another player that's missing from the S class is definitely Ronan. Ronan is a top tier player. I don't care what anybody says. If you know how to use her kunai or her knife, right, the explosive device, you're golden. You're golden. She's a duelist as well, so she goes head to head, and she can crush 90% of the cast that comes head to head with her if you're shooting at the right points. If you're aiming for the head, neck, and chest and above, you're gonna win most of the time. Okay, it's very rare that a Ronin will drop if you use her correctly. Her downfall, I don't think she really has any, because she can't be her passive. She can't be pinged on a map. Like, you can't find her on a map using a Dallas or a Talon. She automatically goes under the radar. So that's a great ability to have, and I would put her in S class for that because of her encounter rate, because of her kunai, and her primary is really strong as well. So, all right, and I don't really play with her like that, but I played with her a couple of times, and I've really felt like she's overpowered. Another one that's gonna be up here, that should be that this person, whoever made this tier, um, they didn't add Sigrid, and they didn't add Fixer. So I'm assuming this is kind of old. Uh, so yeah. So now let's move on. So Anvil's been nerfed. I I play Anvil on a regular. When I'm not playing with friends, I play Anvil when I'm by myself. Uh, I'd put Anvil at B tier because of the nerfs that he received. He's no longer able to stand up and take damage like he used to. He falls very quickly. He's a big target, so it's easy to not miss him. Also, his C4 has been nerfed, but I've heard they're gonna boost the C4, the throwing distance and the blast radius and the damage. So that's gonna be something great to look forward to. Uh, as far as his shield goes, using it as a defense tool, I think, is probably everybody's go-to with him. As far as defending or protecting himself from fire. Now, using it to blockade areas is the most efficient way to use it, because you can use it 2 ways. At the same time, you can protect you and your team, and you can also close off a point for the other team to enter. So I think that's a great strategy with him. Also, his big ass gun is, nah, I mean, it's for real. It's like the probably one of the better guns in the game. I think they decreased the amount of damage it does as well, because I remember when I used to use him before the update, he would take down an entire team with just like one clip, and then still have some left over to take, You know what I mean? A couple other people down. So yeah, now Anvil 2020, December, Anvil is definitely a B class character. And like I said, I took Ronan, I put her in S class. Saint, now, Saint can be in between A and B, or he could even be a C class character, and that depends on who's handling him. Okay? So you got three different types of Saints that play. Okay? Now I'm going to list the first two, which are the worst two. Okay? First, you have the healers that don't know when to heal. They jump and they try to heal you at any time. Doesn't matter if there's an enemy right there, if there's a whole swarm of fire, they're still gonna run and try to heal you and end up dying in the process, right? The second one, right, is the healer that does not heal. Like you would be playing and like the whole map you're like dying and dying and dying the whole game, and you'll hear the freaking drone go off at least one time the entire thing, and this guy's trying to rack up kills. He's got like what 20 kills, but the rest of the team is dying constantly. That's not good, but that's pretty average for a Saint. But the rest of the team is dying, and you're like, wow, I swear we had a Saint on our team. This guy's not helping for nothing. He's selfish. He's trying to play Saint like a run and gun character, which he can be played, but still, that's not the most efficient way to play on a team. That's if you're playing for yourself. And this game isn't designed that way. It's mainly made so that we can work as a team to win. Most teams that if you've ever played on a team where you felt like you had zero breathing room, those people were completely in control and they had absolute uh, communication on every line. They knew exactly what they were doing. They knew exactly where they were supposed to be, and they did everything they were supposed to do, and they played their character exactly the way they were supposed to play them. So let's rewind. If you run into the first two Saints, hey, you're probably gonna lose unless the other team is very trash. The last Saint is the Saint that's supposed to play the right way. It's the Saint that heals, that plays distance, and that's there to keep the team alive and not really concerned with kills. His kills, getting kills is second to healing for him. And he won't heal unless, or he or she, whoever's playing with him, won't heal unless the opportunity is fit for it. He'll try to take the enemy out. So it's sort of like rock, paper, scissors. If the enemy is there, he has to neutralize the enemy first before he can save you. If you're in a good vantage point, or if you're at a good position where he can drop the drone and still save you and take the enemy out while the enemy tries to take away the drone, then that's a great tactic. So, without getting too complicated, without getting too complex, Saint can be either or. He can be A through C, or he can probably even be a S tier, but that's me being nice because I was originally a Saint player. I started off as Saint. I went like 25 levels straight with Saint until I picked up Anvil. So, Saints, he falls, depends on whose hands he's in. As an overall character, I would put him in B class just because he's also kind of boring to play. Vi. Vi is a B class character for sure. She can be very dangerous. Her ability is pretty good for defense and keeping the enemy away. She has the poison thing where she drops the poison on a section and you lose health as you step there. Vi can be very dangerous when combined with a Dahlia. I've seen it. I play a team that we have a Vi and a Dahlia, and we work together to achieve the objective. So as far as Vi, her weapon, I forget what it's called. I know it's like some poison something or something like that. I forget. But her weapon's pretty strong. It's not the best in the world. The fire rate's fairly slow compared to the other SMGs. Um, but as far as like her kit, her grenades. She comes with an incendiary grenade, which is pretty powerful. Combined with the poison, creates such a freaking chaotic environment for the enemy team and for your team if they don't know what they're doing. She's a good keep away character that can hold a base and protect her teammates at the same time. So, yeah, B class. Uh, I don't think I put anybody in A. So, for A class, I would put Glitch, Talon, and Dallas. Those are all A class characters to me, in my opinion, from what I've seen. Talon can sometimes raise to S class depending on who's using him. If they use him right, he'll be a great character. Trench, okay. Trench is, well, let's go back because I skipped a few. So let's talk about Chalk. Chalk is definitely a B class character. He could be better if he had, how you say, if he had a different type of grenade. I'm assuming, like, if he had like a different grenade, like say if he had incendiaries like as a start, I think that'd probably be really good for him. I'm not sure if he does because I've never played Chalk. I've seen people play him, so I'm just gonna keep him where he's at because I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. Never played with him, so I don't know. Phantom, she could be an S class character in the right hands. I've played with people that have had Phantom. She's not a beginner character at all. She's not a beginner character. And I'm gonna go back through the list because there's a bunch of other characters on here that I can categorize for you guys. I might do that in a separate video or whatever that'll help categorize each one of these characters, or each one of these players, or rogues, however you want to call it, into beginner friendly to the most complicated player, most complicated character to learn. So let's get back. Phantom, depending on who she is, whose hand she's in, she can be very dangerous. She can take on practically anything except for SMGs. If you play her the proper way, there's a lot of people that play her and do like the quick scope, close range thing, but that's not the average player. Um, that's someone who's been quick scoping since, you know, World of War. What's it called? Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. I don't know, one of the Call of Duties. A Modern Warfare 2. Okay, so yeah, she can be either an S class or a D class. It just depends on who's using her. Scorch is good where she's at. She's a B class character. Her ability is really strong, but it's very, very, very sloppy and glitchy when you use it. It kind of disorientates you as the player with glitch. I mean, with Scorch when you use her ability, it kind of just like blurs the entire screen and it's hard to really see or control her. I've seen players that are very dangerous with her, but usually her kill rate is not that high. She'll probably like knock at least two or three players with her with her ability, and then end up dying, and then those characters get rezzed. Maybe two characters at the max she can kill. Some better players, again, each one of these characters are based on skill level of the actual player. So, this ranking in general may not be the same for you because you're a Phantom player, you're a Scorch player. You know what I mean? Uh, I've played with her very little. I like her as a character because she's a New Yorker and I enjoy her accent or whatever. But as far as gameplay goes, I'm not a big fan. Her secondary is pretty good. Her pistol, it's a burst pistol, 3 round burst or six. I don't know how many rounds, but it's a 3 round burst, I'm assuming. And it's pretty good. It can take out a person with like 2 shots to the chest and head. So yeah, I'd leave Scorch right there at B class. Let's get to Glitch. Glitch has been showing himself to be the better character lately. since these recent updates. So I'll definitely move Glitch up to A class because his ability, a lot of people were sleeping on it. His ability stops all the abilities on the enemy teams, and that allows him and the entire team to take advantage of you guys in a gunfight and use their abilities against yours. You can't use grenades, you can't use your ability. You can revive each other, but if you revive through an ability, it doesn't work. So